UFC Featherweight Mike Grundy. First and foremost, how are you and how has training been recently?
I'm great. I mean, obviously, I would have liked to fight not long ago, the 16th of January, but, it all fell through this COVID. So I wasn't able to fight, but I've stayed fit. I've carried on training. I'm training every day, and I'm still progressing. So I'm happy with that, really.
I did want to touch on that because you have had two of your last three booked fights cancelled. You obviously were meant to be on the 20th of March card in London in 2020 that was cancelled. And then you had the cancelled Nick Lenz fight due to a positive COVID test.
Yeah.
How hard has all this been for you? How detrimental is this?
It's been a roller coaster, to be honest. It's been tough. There's been a lot of setbacks. You just got to keep plugging away, I suppose. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It's been very, very tough. To keep picking myself up after these setbacks and getting motivated and keep training and keep my weight down, because after the Nick Lenz fight they kind of said just stay ready, really, and I didn't know when I was going to fight, but hopefully they get me something soon. I've not got anything just yet, but like I said, I just want to fight now, and I'm not the youngest in the UFC, so I need to just catch up for lost time, really. As soon as I get that next fight, I want to be active as I can, and I need to be out there every week if I can.
I always have. There's been probably hundreds of fighters who've had fights cancelled through this period, but there's always for me a little bit more sympathy, if you like, for that 20th of March card in London, where it was 2 weeks prior life was normal, and then a little bit of time passes and we're being told we can only leave our house for an hour a day. What was that like to get it snatched away at the final hurdle?
Yeah, it was a crazy time. I just couldn't believe it. It was like, it was a Sunday, I got told, and was getting ready to leave on Monday or something to go to London. And it was just a surreal moment. I was still that, obviously, keeping my calories down and keeping my weight down and stuff, because it was only a week away from fight. And like I said, I couldn't believe it. I thought there was something going to happen where they were going to change their mind and we could still fight. They were going to do something, like Dana's obviously done. He's got Abu Dhabi and things like that. But I thought they was going to do something where we could still just fight or get us out to Vegas or something like that. I don't know. But I just didn't believe it for a good few days. So I actually carried on keeping my weight down, thinking, they're going to change their mind. They're going to give us an email and going to say, listen, you're going to fight in Vegas or you're going to fight somewhere else. So it was again another setback. It was a tough time.
There was that talk, wasn't there, that weekly, because they had the Brasilia card with no fans, and then I believe the Sunday or the Monday there was a press release saying they were talking about moving it to Las Vegas, and then it was all scuppered. So it must have been a very uncertain time.
Yeah, it was, and then obviously not knowing when you're going to fight again. Because obviously, it's new to everyone being in this pandemic, even Dana and people like that. So we never knew when we was going to fight again, and then it ended up being like, I think, July by the time I got my next fight. So, like I said, I just need to now make up for lost time, because there's been an injury, there's been 2 COVID problems, so there's been a good few setbacks, really. And then it took me a long time to get my debut by the time I found out in the UFC. So UFC for me, it's been slow. Before that, I think once or twice I fought 5 times in a year, so I was active.
Yeah.
I just want to get back to that. I'm an athlete who's in condition all year round. Yeah. I train all year round. I'm active. I want to be active all year round. I just want to get them fights in.
I do seem to remember that, but I can't remember the specifics. How long was the time between you were signed for the UFC to when you made your debut? Do you have an idea?
I can't remember the exact time, but it was a good while, because it was 2018 when I got signed. Or I got told that I was going to fight in the UFC. And then I had my debut in March 21st in 2019.
Yeah.
So it was a good while. I say a good 6 months.
Yeah. I remember that happening, because obviously I think people had obviously heard your wrestling credentials, and then I think I remember hearing Darren speak about you in an interview about how you should be in the UFC. And then I remember you getting signed, and then there was this long period where it was like, where's Mike gone?
It was, yeah. Like I say, it was over 6 months, I think. Like I said, 2018 I found out, and then 2019 it was like I got my debut in London.
Yeah.
Again, and then I was supposed to fight in mid 2019. I got an injury. That was supposed to be against Mobstar. Yeah. And then obviously I was supposed to fight in March. Then the COVID hit us. I was supposed to fight Makwan in March. And then I got a fight a year later in July. So yeah, it's just been but I've been fit all the way through that after that injury. I've been ready to go. So that's what's frustrating. Because once I get started, I don't mind fighting every month. I honestly don't mind fighting every month. I'm in condition all the time.
Yeah. And let's talk about the last fight just very briefly. So in your last fight on UFC Fight Island in July, you lost a decision to Nosfar Evloev. Now 6 to 8 months removed from that fight, how do you look back on that performance?
Yeah, I mean, I look back, I've watched it a couple of times, and the changing point in the fight was from when I broke my jaws. No excuses. He won me fair and square that night. He was the better man on the night, and he's a great fighter. And I think he'll do great things as well. I think he'll do well in that featherweight division. But yeah, that was a changing point. I'd say I was winning the first round. My jaw was broke. I think it was like, looking back on the video now, I think it was like a minute in. Yeah. The start of the break on my jaw, and I could barely really see, to be honest, throughout that fight. So that was a changing point. But yeah, I mean, I've come back. I'm come back from it fine. Like I say, I've been training hard. I was training I think I was running the day after my operation. Went on my jaw. So yeah, I'm in good spirits. I'm ready. I'm just ready to fight.
Yeah. How close were them early submission attempts? I believe there was a dart. I believe there was a couple of darters and maybe a guillotine mixed in there. How close were you to getting them out of there with a first round sub?
Yeah, the first round, the dash was really close. Like when I had it on, I heard him gargling. He was gargling. Even my corner, because it was near my corner, Colin and Terry and that, they said we could hear him gargling, yeah. So I kind of cranked it a little bit more. Made a couple of mistakes maybe by grabbing my forearm rather than my bicep. But that was just because he was doing the right thing straight away as soon as I got it on. So he's obviously, he trained for it, he practiced for it. So I just, when I had it on and I heard him gargling, I thought, ref's pulling me off here in a minute. I've won this fight in the first round. I was excited, you know what I mean? And then obviously, he did something, twisted his spine round or something, I don't know, and he got out. But I mean, he did the same with Nick Lentz. He was in a tight guillotine with Nick Lentz. And he managed to get out of that as well. Yeah. And Nick Lentz looks like he's got a good guillotine as well.
Yeah, he has, yeah. And Evloev is starting to become a little bit of your nemesis, isn't he? Because he actually filled in for you as a replacement for Nick Lentz.
Yeah.
And he beats Nick Lentz. He beats Nick Lentz and he gets a ranking next to his name. That must just be...
Now he's 15th. When I found that news, I was... When we come home from London, when we couldn't fly, we had to go straight home because one of us had a COVID positive, so we had to go straight home. But I didn't go straight home because my wife was pregnant, and I didn't want to go straight home to her in case I had anything. So I went and booked in a hotel close by and stayed there for another few days till I got another test. But I remember just being in my room in there and then they announced that Movsar was going to fight Lentz. I thought, fucking hell, that's another kicking dick. But it was at him having that, obviously. But yeah, good. Like I say, he's like 4-0 now in UFC. He's doing well, isn't
he? Yeah. I think it also probably speaks to where you were perhaps at, because we can't say it for certainty, but if you had to beat Lentz, it might have been you. It's difficult to say, but it quite possibly could have been, couldn't it?
Could have been. But I suppose it's nice to see, where you're at, because like you say, if I went out and I beat Lentz, then there's a possibility I could have been ranked a little bit higher than I was, or maybe even that 15 rank that Movsar's got.
Yeah. Now let's maybe move from the past, if you like, to the present or perhaps the future. When are you looking to get back in the cage, and is there any names that come to mind that you perhaps want to pit yourself against?
I want to get in as soon as possible. I want to get a fight as soon as I can. Right now, really, I suppose if it's not going to be anytime soon, I want to date. I just want a date to work towards, really. Names, there's a few. I mean, there's a lot of the good household names in the featherweight division, especially for me, who I need to be either climbing the ranks or I need a good name to boost my profile, really.
Yeah.
and I feel that I am. You know, I look at these featherweights and I feel I can beat them. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a person who's just to make up a number in the UFC. Names that come to mind, I'd like to fight Bryce Mitchell. I think he's got a nice style that suits me as well. You know what I mean? I think it'd be a good match.
Yeah.
Another one really who's just been matched is Edson Barbosa. I'd like to get that fight. That'd be a nice fight as well. You know, he's a great striker. He's a bit of a legend, coming up to be a bit of a legend really in the UFC. You know, and for obvious reasons, yeah, I'd like to fight him one day. But right now, I just want to get a fight. But yeah, the higher rank, the bigger the name, the better for me right now.
Perhaps with the Barbosa, you would be avenging your teammate Terry Etam's signature loss, if you like.
Yeah, I mean Terry's obviously he's an idol of mine. Do you know what I mean? I've always looked up to Terry from even just stepping into the gym at Team Kaobon, and he does all my pads and stuff like that. Terry, he helps me out a lot. Not the only reason why, do you know what I mean? But yeah, Edson Barbosa would be a great fight, and yeah, it'd be nice to go out there and get a win.
The two names that you've just mentioned there, Mike, are quite different styles. We've got a very obvious striker and a very obvious grappler.
Yeah.
Can I ask, what type of matchup intrigues you more? A ground specialist where you can pit your skills against theirs, or a predominant striker where you know it's that to and fro between where the fight's going to take place? Which type of matchup do you like more?
I do like the grappling exchanges. Yeah, I mean, I'm mainly a grappler myself, but you just never know where it's going to take you, because if we cancel each other out, we could just end up having a good scrap on the feet, and if not, then we're going to have a good ground battle. You know, we're going to have one of us going to be getting up, or there's going to be subs here, there, and everywhere. So that interests me as well. I've always said I'd like to fight someone like, I've always said, I think he's retired now, but Chad Mendes, because the way he sets up his shots to his takedowns and the way he scrambles and gets up and things like that, I like his style, and I just think we'd have a good fight as well.
Yeah, superb. And now let's talk a little bit about something you mentioned there, Team Kaobon. As I understand it, are you one of the wrestling coaches out of that gym?
Yeah, I coach the wrestling there in the mornings and in the evenings, but I coach the wrestling. Yeah.
Is that in any way being an active fighter? Is there any more pressure on you there? You know, to be in a coach, that you need to be coaching these guys, these names such as Till and Aspinall?
No, not really. I mean, we're all professionals. Do you know what I mean? I can show stuff, and I can still drill myself and train myself, and you know they're going to pick it up pretty quick. So I mean, it's not any more pressure. I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy coaching as well as I do fighting.
Yeah. Do you work with these guys? Because I would obviously imagine you've got the wrestling credentials, but some of these guys, specifically Till and Aspinall, are much bigger in weight. Do you work with these guys, or would that be more a technique and drilling type of thing?
No, I mean, I'll drill and do technique with Till. Tom's probably Till's heavy, but Tom's probably a little too heavy. So yeah, like, I mean, we'll spar with Till, I'll wrestle with Till, probably more so than Tom. But yeah, like I did 5 rounds yesterday with Till, 5-minute sparring, which was fucking hard work.
Is there an up and comer in Kaobon that we should perhaps keep our eye on? Because there's a lot of notable names, such as the big 3, I would say. But is there anyone coming up that fans should keep their eye out for?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few. I mean, there's a few amateurs and there's a few professionals. Kaelin from Ireland, he's moved over, and Tieran, they're both young lads from Ireland. They're doing great. They train really hard, and they absolutely love and live the sport. Rafi's in Bellator. He's another great fighter. He's coming up and coming as well. I think he's 3-0 now, maybe, but he's another good little fighter. But yeah, them 3 probably ones that stand out right now.
Yeah. And what was as I understand it, were you one part of Tom Aspinall's corner in his recent win over Arlovsky? Is that correct?
I wasn't there for that one. I've always done his corners over here. I mean, obviously we fought together on Fight Island. But no, I've not done his corners recently. No reason. His dad goes out with him, and Colin goes out with him. That's enough. That's what he needs, you know.
No, I remember him. As you know, I spoke to Tom. I think off camera he told me that normally it would be you 3, but I think due to the restrictions, it's just Colin and Andy, I believe.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, his dad and Colin. Yeah. But it was a nice double legs. I'll give him that.
Once he hit that double leg, it was over really quickly, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, it was nice. I mean, he's like I say, obviously we all know Tom's a black belt on the ground, as well as his elite striking and his movement and stuff like that. For an heavyweight, he is going to be something great in that heavyweight division. He is going to be a champion one day, without putting too much pressure on him, but he is.
Did you see that with the releases of Overeem and Dos Santos, Aspinall has now been ranked number 14 in the world?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I was surprised they released them. I mean, obviously, I know they're a bit older and the thingy, but I mean, they were both still ranked fighters.
Yeah,
I think they was in the top 10, if I'm right.
I think they were. Yeah, I think
there was definitely top 15, both of them. So,
well, I can sympathise a little bit more with Dos Santos, but Overeem, one fight prior, we were talking about this his last run of going for the heavyweight gold.
Yeah.
So
true, yeah, that's true, yeah. Yeah, I seen that. So yeah, I was a bit surprised that they kind of cut him.
Yeah, it was a little bit surprising, yeah. Can we just quickly talk about, we've obviously talked about one of your teammates' recent fight. Can we talk very briefly about the upcoming main event between Darren Till and Marvin Vettori?
Yeah.
How do you see that fight playing out?
I think he plays into Till's hands, really. He's very a forward fighter, and Till's, more of a, I'd say, obviously he's more of a counter fighter. And I think Till picks him off, really. Till's a very hard guy to take down. So, on the feet, Till's got it. Vettori, I think he's going to be looking for a takedown at some point during the fight, but Till's not an easy man to take down. As you can see, he's not really been took down, and if he's been took down, he's up within seconds. So it's, I can see Till winning, and I feel he's going to knock him out too.
Do you have a round prediction for us?
Off the top of my head, that's a second.
Okay, I won't hold you to that, Mike.
No, I don't hold to that.
And we'll just finish by talking a little bit about yourself. So obviously the world isn't an ideal place, but in a realistically ideal world, what would a good 12 to 18 month period look like for you?
Being active and getting, in the next 12 months, I'd definitely like 4, maybe 5 fights in 18 months. I know I'm pushing it, but that's what I want. You know what I mean? I'll be calling for fights, for pullouts. I want them as well. So yeah, I want to be active. Then we'll see where it can go from there, really. And the good thing about this pandemic is there is a lot of pullouts. It's not good for them, but it's good for people like me who want them. And you can. It seems like you can get into this top 15, top 10 quicker. Because, I mean, look at Vettori. He was a 15 ranked fighter not long ago, and then he comes in and he takes a late pullout against the Manson, and now he's top 4, top 5, or whatever he is. So, your life can change quite quickly. I mean, what's his name? Belal Muhammad, is it? He's fighting Leon Edwards. He was a 15 ranked fighter, and now he's fighting somebody who's in the top 5 again. So it's, if you're looking for these pullouts as well as staying active, I think it's a great opportunity for somebody like me who's fit all year round.
Would you be prepared to take, or maybe not days or a week's notice, but would you be prepared to take short notice opportunities if they arose?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Superb. Oh, have I frozen there?
You froze a little bit there, yeah.
Oh, there we go. We're back on. Superb.
You're back on.
I looked at myself and I was just frozen. I thought, what's happened there? But good job I looked. So, very much thank you for coming on and giving me some time today, Mike.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Superb. Before we finish, how can people find you on social media?
So I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can just follow me on all them.
Superb. And is there anything you would like to say or sign off with at all?
No, I mean, that's it. Thanks for the interview. That's all. I appreciate you giving me your time.
I appreciate you giving me your time, Mike, and I hope to see you back soon.
Thanks a lot, pal.